didn't even know that you could do real estate this way. To be honest, I was obsessed with listings and truly thought that was the only way to run your business and still have control over your time. But I'll just give a couple examples of what this looks like right now, because it definitely does not look like the way that working with a typical buyer does. Welcome back to my channel. I feel like my camera is a little slanted. I hope it isn't, but if it is, I apologize. We're just gonna get into the video though. Right now, we are in my dining room. We kind of use this room as an office though. We're just going to drink our tea and have a little real estate discussion today because I feel like this is something that needs to be discussed. This is something that if you would have told me a couple of years ago in my business that I would have made this decision, I would never have believed you. My entire business has been built from the very beginning, was built on getting listings. I was very listing heavy. I hardly ever worked with buyers. I always said, if you list, you last. I always had a bunch of, like a good handful of listings at any given time. I hated working with buyers so much. I'm pretty sure I even had a few videos, I think they're still up on my channel, talking about how working with buyers is a waste of time. And so I just can't believe that this is actually what's happening in our business, but I'm so happy about it, and I'll share all the details and the why and all the in-between in a second. But I made the decision to completely stop working with sellers. If you're new here, my husband and I are a husband and wife real estate team. I got into the business when I was 18. We got married really young. A couple years later, he jumped in and joined me in real estate. We've been a team ever since. And so here's what I mean by that. I had a listing appointment last week set up. I decided on a whim, you know what, I'm gonna do some cold calls just for old time's sake. And I'll get into why I don't make them anymore later in the video. And my whole reasoning, even though I do really love and enjoy cold calls, but I had a minute and I was like, you know what, that just sounds fun. I haven't done this in so long. So I picked up my phone, made some cold calls, got a listing appointment with a for sale by owner, and then the day came to go to the appointment and I told my husband, you need to take this listing. I'm not going to do it. And then also, I got a referral from one of you guys. Thank you so much for your referrals. We always love working with your buyer and seller referrals. Whenever you send them, we are located in Oregon and we'd love to give you a referral fee if you're a fellow realtor watching this. But I got a listing referral from one of you guys, beautiful, newer home. And I was going to take the listing, and this was just a few days ago. And I was like, you know what? Nope. I need to just make this decision 100%. And again, I'll talk about why, but I just need to make this decision that I am not working with sellers any longer. I totally hated working with buyers earlier on in my business. I was all about the listings, and I think one of the reasons why I never wanted anything to do with working with buyers is because I didn't know that it could be done in a way where you're not just running around all the time and feeling like you're working 24/7, because that's really the only examples that I ever saw about working with buyers. And I think that part of the reason as well why I hated working with buyers so much is because I had a really bad taste in my mouth about buyers. And I think the reason is because when I got into the business, I was 18. None of my friends were buying and selling. And buyers I were working with were all either Zillow leads, which y'all know how I feel about Zillow leads, or I was working with Facebook leads. And I don't mean the type of Facebook lead that shoots you a message and they're like, hey, we want to buy a house, and they're friends with you on Facebook. I mean the kind of Facebook lead that comes from a paid ad. I've done a lot of those before. And they don't know you. They are not loyal to you at all, and they probably aren't even really qualified to buy. If they are, they're like the lowest price point buyers. So I think that's why I had such a bad taste in my mouth about buyers, is because the type of buyers that I would work with when I did work with them were just so hard to work with, and they had no loyalty to you as a realtor at all. I wrote down in the notes in my phone, I just like gathered my thoughts of what I was gonna say for this video. So if I'm like reading off, that's why. When I was cold calling for sale by owners and listing houses all the time, I was doing it all the time and I was an expert at it. Now that I'm a mom, I could choose to still be doing that, but the thing is, working with listings, working with sellers, it does take more time away from your family. And what I mean from that is when you work with a seller, I always loved it because it is more work up front. You have to gain confidence with your listing presentation, get really good at presenting it, know how to answer all the questions the sellers are going to have, and just get like a really good strategies and routines down when it comes to listing a home. But once you get good at that, you list the home and you have your routines down, so it's pretty easy and turnkey, and you list the home, and then all the realtors in town go to work for you to sell your listing. So in a way, it is a lot more turnkey in that way. But the thing is, there's a lot more prep work. I'm not going to show up to my listing appointment without having gone to the office and spent time working on and printing and sending in the mail a really great listing presentation and pulling up my comps and knowing everything there is to know, like just being super prepared. And that takes a lot more prep work. So back when I was listing homes, my day looked like driving from house to house. I was gone all the time. I loved it for time being, but obviously now that's just not super conducive for how I want to live my life right now. This listing that was a referral from one of you guys, for example, that I was about to list, I could have gone in and listed it. My biggest thing is I don't think that I'm going to do the best possible job for the client unless I'm listing a bunch of houses like I was before. But that would require me to be gone like all day, like a 9-to-5 job. And I don't have one of those for a reason. And so that's kind of my thinking is if I'm not listing a ton of houses all the time, then I'd rather not list any at all. And I want to be an expert at whatever it is that I'm doing. That's where I feel like if I'm gonna do something, I wanna do it 100%. I don't want to divide my attention. I don't wanna try to be working with listing clients over here and then relocation buyers over here. And like, I want to pick what is best for my life right now and then just focus all my energy on getting better at that, serving those clients better. And so that's really what it came down to with my decision. I think that I'm just better off choosing to work with these relocation clients. So I mentioned that it's really conducive for my life right now. I'll just give a couple examples of what this looks like right now, because it definitely does not look like the way that working with a typical buyer does. The other day, and this happens often, I had a buyer consultation with a new relocation client who was moving to our area from another state, and I'm able to book this call for my daughter's nap time or for a time when my husband's home or someone can be at the house and I am in my office making this call. I don't have to leave, I don't have to go anywhere, I'm not meeting with anyone in person, and then I can go back to being a mom. And so it's just so amazing that relocation clients gives you the ability to do this. I didn't even know that you could do real estate this way, to be honest. Another example is 99% of the time my clients are not in person. And when they are here in person, I am totally happy to meet with them. Like for example, I have a client coming into town next week, so I'm definitely going to be by myself. I'm gonna meet with them. We're gonna have a great day looking at houses, and that is totally fine. But 99% of the time, that's not the case. And so what my day usually looks like is, like yesterday, for example, I had a few different properties to look at for a few different relocation clients who are moving here from different parts of the country. And my daughter and I were able to go together to look at these houses. I do it all virtually. I'm videoing the houses for the client, so I'm not meeting with anyone. I can kind of do it in my own time as long as it's during that day. This is a decision I never thought I would make in my business because, like I said, if you have been here watching our channel for a while, you know I was obsessed with listings and truly thought that was the only way to run your business and still have control over your time. But I have really, really fallen in love with working with relocation clients, the whole process, the clients themselves, and everything else that goes along with it. And I genuinely enjoy it a lot more than I did working with listings, which I never thought was possible because I really did genuinely enjoy working with listings. I really don't think that you can be an expert at everything, and I would much rather have one thing that I'm giving all my focus and energy to and just focusing on getting better at that, doing a better job for my clients, having better systems in place in that area, which I chose to be my relocation clients. I would way rather just pick one thing and go all in on that than try to do everything and be an expert at everything. That is a little business update, how my business has changed again. And if this is something that sounds appealing to you, we are working on a course where we go so in depth on everything you want to know if you want to be able to run your business this way as well. As far as the relocation clients go, and you want to become a relocation expert as well, there's so many resources talking about it right now. I have read probably every book written out that's out there right now talking about video for real estate, becoming a relocation, real estate agent and all of that. And a lot of them just don't go as in depth as I feel that they could. And so I'm really excited about this. We're currently working on making a course right now that will be out this year. So keep your eyes out, continue to come back to this channel and keep your eyes peeled, because if this is something that you're interested in, you are definitely not going to want to miss that. We are going very in depth, showing you how you can do this as well from start to finish. If you watch this video all the way through, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We've been coming on here every single Wednesday with new videos, and we'll see you guys next week.